Will adjusted the collar of his blazer, the hidden recorder beneath the fabric ticking silently, a subtle weight against his chest that seemed to grow heavier with each step toward Luna. He knew what he was doing was dangerous, morally, emotionally, even physically. But the stakes were too high. Steffi's life, her safety, perhaps even the future of Forrester Creations, hung in the balance. The orders were clear. Get Luna to talk. Get her to confess. Get her to slip, even once. And so, with the grim determination of a man walking into a storm, Will stepped back into Luna's life, playing the part of the returned lover with just enough warmth to be believable, just enough distance to maintain control. Luna wasn't easy to read. She'd always carried that mysterious glow, a kind of composed elegance masking something darker, something unspoken. When she saw Will again, her expression shifted only slightly. Surprise, hesitation, and then a soft smile, the kind she knew would hit him hardest. They met over coffee first, then dinner, and then late-night drives along the Pacific Coast Highway where the ocean wind tangled her hair and Will's thoughts spiraled into chaos. With each encounter, the lines blurred. He hated how easily she reached into his memories, how effortlessly she reminded him of the nights they used to lose themselves in each other's arms. But he couldn't forget what brought him back. Luna wasn't just his past, she was a threat. He had the file. He had the photos. He knew about the late-night meetings, the financial transactions disguised as wellness brand investments, the whispered conversations with Sheila's former associates. Steffi had barely survived the last time someone got close enough to try and destroy her from the inside. Will wouldn't let history repeat itself. So he played his role. He kissed Luna under Malibu moonlight and told her half-truths. That he missed her, that he regretted leaving, that he wanted a second chance. And every time her guard dipped, he listened. Every smile, every pause, every whispered phrase, he recorded it all. But Luna wasn't a fool. She sensed something. One night, curled in his arms after they made love for the first time since reuniting, she turned her face toward him and asked, too softly, "Do you trust me, Will?" The question cut deeper than she knew. He hesitated, the lie perched on his lips like a hawk ready to strike, but then he nodded. Yes, it was a word that betrayed everything he was trying to protect. But he couldn't stop. He had to see it through. The confession came not with drama, not with a sinister monologue, but in fragments, pieces of a puzzle that only Will could assemble. It happened one evening as they sat on her balcony overlooking the canyon. She was sipping wine, her tone casual, but her words cold beneath the warmth. "I just think Steffi's had too much control for too long," she murmured. "It's time someone shook the throne." Will barely blinked. He let the silence stretch, pretending to ponder her meaning. Luna leaned in, brushing a kiss against his neck, her voice lower now. "You know she ruined people, Will. She buried my aunt's reputation. She stood by while others took the fall. That kind of power. Someone has to balance the scales." And there it was. Not quite a smoking gun, but a clear window into motive. Will pressed gently, guiding the conversation, baiting the hook. "Balance it how?" Luna laughed, light and careless. "Don't worry. No one's dying. But Steffi's going to learn what it feels like to lose everything, piece by piece." He knew then that the plan was real, and it was already in motion. Will delivered the tapes to Ridge in secret, heart pounding. Ridge's face turned to stone as he listened. The protective father, the calculating businessman, he became both. "She's finished," Ridge growled. "We cut her out before she does damage." But Will hesitated. Luna was a threat, yes. But she was also tangled in his soul in ways he couldn't untangle without bleeding. The next time they met, Luna was different. Sharper. She sensed the shift, felt the distance in his touch. "Someone's been talking," she said with a smile too tight. "You wouldn't lie to me, would you?" Will tried to play dumb, but Luna stepped back, her voice icy. "Tell me something, Will. When you said you loved me, was that part of the game, too?" He faltered. And that was enough. Luna vanished the next day. Her phone disconnected. Her condo empty. Her contacts silent. Will scrambled. The last thing he expected was a call from Thomas, for once sober and dead serious. "She's not done. She's going after Steffy where it really hurts, through the kids, through Finn. We need to move. Now." They traced Luna's movements to a private villa in Big Bear, where a storm was rolling in and cell reception vanished like smoke. Will drove without stopping, guilt and fury in equal measure boiling beneath his skin. He found Luna standing at the edge of a cliff behind the villa, the wind tearing at her coat, eyes fixed on the jagged rocks below. "You think I'm the villain," she said without turning. "But villains don't fall in love." Will stepped toward her, heart in his throat. "Then prove it. Stop this. Walk away before someone gets hurt." She turned, and in her eyes he saw pain, not regret, but something older. It was never about just Steffy. It was about all of them. The way they treat people like pawns. "I was disposable. My mother was disposable. You think you're saving her? You're saving a queen on a throne of bones." Will reached for her, but Luna pulled back, eyes brimming. "If you walk away from me now, I'll be gone for good." Will said nothing. He couldn't. The wind howled. Then she was gone, disappearing into the villa, and when Will followed, he found nothing but silence. Back in LA, the fallout was swift. Luna's schemes unraveled, layer by layer. Old partners turned on her. Emails surfaced. A former PR agent leaked details about staged scandals meant to implode Steffy's public image. But Luna herself remained a ghost, vanishing before the arrest warrants were issued, leaving behind only a crimson scarf and a shattered glass of wine. Ridge locked down Forrester's security. Steffy refused to leave her children's side. And Will disappeared too, slipping away from the media frenzy, the congratulations, the suspicion. He went north, somewhere coastal and forgotten, trying to scrub her voice from his memory. But at night, he still heard her. That final question. That final look. Then one day, a postcard arrived. No name. No return address. Just a watercolor of a cliff over turbulent waves and a single sentence. "Some love burns too bright to survive." Will stared at it for a long time, the tide of everything they'd been crashing silently in his chest. The line between justice and betrayal had vanished. All that remained was the echo of a truth he could never prove and a love that nearly destroyed them both. Will never saw it coming. One moment he was watching Luna's expression, trying to read the tension in her eyes, calculating just how far she'd go to protect the web of lies she'd spun. The next, there was a sharp movement, a glint of steel beneath the folds of her coat, and then gunfire. One shot. Precise. Deadly. His body jerked, stumbled back, and collapsed against the hardwood floor with a dull thud. The tiny hidden microphone he'd pinned beneath his lapel crackled for a moment longer, catching the last ragged breath he drew before silence swallowed the room. Luna stood over him, trembling, the gun still hot in her hand. Her face was pale, drenched in rain and sweat, mascara bleeding down her cheeks as the weight of what she'd done settled over her like ash. She had loved him once. Maybe still did. But Will had crossed a line she couldn't allow. He had come into her space with a wire, a weapon of truth, a trap dressed as love. And now he was gone, the proof still ticking silently against his corpse. She wiped the gun clean, shoved it back into her coat, and fled into the storm. The rain pounded the city, washing the blood from her hands, but not her conscience. She didn't bother to close the door. Sirens echoed faintly in the distance as Luna disappeared into the shadows of Los Angeles, leaving behind only chaos and a chain of broken hearts. The next morning, the LAPD arrived at the apartment in response to a noise complaint. The door was ajar. Inside, they found Will's body. The recorder was still running. The timestamp gave them a narrow window. And the name Luna was spoken more than once. The case exploded across headlines by noon. Forrester family scandal. Investigator found dead. Steffy was in a board meeting when the news broke. She didn't even get to sit down before Carter burst in, face grim. It's Will. He's dead. They think Luna did it. Her stomach turned. She hadn't even known Will was still investigating. Finn got the call from the hospital administrator. He was the last person Luna had spoken to before she vanished. A routine visit to the ER 2 nights earlier. Complained of chest tightness. Nothing abnormal. Just Luna laying groundwork, creating a paper trail that would buy her time. But now every second counted. Detective Sanchez took over the case. He didn't mince words. We've got a suspect. We've got motive. But what we don't have is a location. She's already left LA. Luna hadn't gone quietly. A series of traffic cam images placed her on the 5 freeway, heading north. A stolen car found torched outside of Bakersfield. A gas station attendant in Fresno remembered her face, said she looked tired, jittery, always glancing over her shoulder. Steffy made the call herself. We're not waiting for the police to catch up. We're going after her. Finn tried to reason with her. This isn't a game. She killed Will. She's dangerous. But Steffy's eyes were hard. She made this personal. We end it. They took a private jet out of Burbank before sunrise, armed with what little intel the LAPD would share and their own instincts. First stop, San Francisco. Luna had ties there. A former therapist, an ex from college, a cousin with a history of housing fugitives. But each lead was a dead end. At one apartment, the only clue left behind was a lipstick stain on a wine glass and a torn-out page from a Forrester catalog with Steffy's face circled in red. Finn didn't sleep that night. He stayed by the window of their hotel, scanning the empty streets for movement. Steffy paced like a soldier preparing for war. Then came the break, a hacked email traced to a public library terminal in Seattle. Luna's search history showed queries for border routes, ferry schedules, and dual citizenship applications. She was trying to disappear for good. They moved fast, landing in Seattle the same day a tourist caught a blurry photo of Luna boarding a ferry to Bainbridge Island. Police arrived hours later. She was gone. Back in LA, Ridge and Brooke tried to keep the media quiet, but the story was out of control. The press fed on it like vultures. Runaway heiress wanted for murder. Will Logan's killer, a Forrester family connection. Ridge blamed himself for not shutting down the investigation sooner. Hope blamed herself for ever introducing Luna to their circle. But guilt didn't slow the hunt. Meanwhile, Luna's trail turned colder. A pawn shop in Portland reported someone selling designer jewelry matching pieces stolen from Steffy's Malibu estate months earlier. Luna was running out of money and friends. The net was closing. And then another murder. In a rundown motel outside of Vancouver, a body was found. A woman. Shot once in the chest. At first, police believed it was Luna. But the ID told a different story. Emily Chu, a former associate of Luna's, known for forging IDs and passports. The implication was clear. Luna had killed again, this time to erase her old identity and create a new one. Steffy broke down when she heard. She's not just running, she said to Finn. She's erasing herself. Finn pulled her close, jaw clenched. We stop her before she erases us too. From Vancouver, the trail led to Toronto. Luna had family there, but none willing to talk. Finn finally convinced a reluctant cousin to speak, promising protection. The cousin revealed Luna's next move. She was headed to Montreal to meet a contact who could smuggle her into Europe using a cargo ship manifest. It was their last chance. The Montreal docks were a maze of steel, fog, and tension. Police set up checkpoints. Steffy and Finn searched the cargo yard themselves, hearts racing. Then they saw her, walking with purpose toward a freighter, duffel slung over one shoulder, face hidden by a scarf. Steffy screamed her name. Luna froze. For a moment, no one moved. Then she ran. Finn chased her through the docks, slipping on wet metal, shouting for backup. Luna darted between shipping containers, breath ragged, gun clenched in her hand. Steffy flanked from the side, cutting her off. "Don't do this, Luna," she yelled. "It's over." Luna turned, wild-eyed, weapon raised. Finn had no choice. The shot rang out through the fog. Luna collapsed. Medics arrived too late. Her final words were whispered through blood. "He loved me. He was supposed to love me." Steffy stood frozen, eyes burning. Finn lowered his weapon, breath shaking. "He did," he said softly. "But he also loved the truth." Luna's body was flown back to Los Angeles under heavy security. The funeral was quiet. No one from the Forrester family attended. The press speculated, but no one cared anymore. Will was buried beside his sister. His recorder was turned over to his mother, who held it like it was made of glass. And the city, for all its glitter, moved on. Scarred, but still standing. Steffy returned to the office. Finn returned to the hospital. But neither of them would ever forget what Luna had done, what they had almost lost. The cost of silence. The weight of justice. And the haunting truth that some love stories don't end in redemption. They end in blood.